What's going on, beautiful people? This is Max coming to you with another video today. It's going to be titled Be You. It's a Monday. It's a new week. It's a new opportunity to go after the dream you thought you could not reach, or you were scared to go after, or that you've been pushing to go after. What's been going on in your heart, or your desires, or whatever's tugging at you. New opportunities are here this week. So let's get after it. And let's get after this talk. So today's talk is about be you. The reason I thought about this talk is because oftentimes there's a lot of people who are not reaching their full potential. A lot of people who are not successful, or people who've given up in life, or people who think subconsciously or consciously that it's not possible to reach their dreams no matter what level their dreams are. There are some people whose dreams are simply to, make 50,000, and they've given up. They think it's not possible. Sometimes they just give up, get depressed, and end up in negative situations. Sometimes they turn to a life of crime and doing things to get there instead of pushing for the dreams that they had or what they wanted to do. And so what I want to talk about is, just simply getting people to understand that you have to get to the point where you get comfortable and you start to love yourself. If you're not comfortable with who you are, if you don't love yourself, if you don't understand your worth and your value, there is no way you can build anything on top of an empty shell. No way, right? The empty shell would be you. If you don't believe in yourself, you're an empty shell. If you don't have faith in yourself, if you don't love yourself, if you don't think you can accomplish anything, you're already defeated. And a lot of times, unfortunately, in society, people help to reinforce these things, right? So there's two stats that I'm sure you heard of before, and I'm going to repeat them for you right now. There are 7.6 billion people on Earth right now. 7.6. You are one out of 7.6 billion people, right? That means there are enough Michael Jordans, enough President Obamas, enough Denzel Washingtons, and everything else like that. There aren't enough you. That is the one thing you need to understand. Everybody has a purpose. Everyone was created by the Creator God with a purpose. What is your purpose? What will you put on the earth to do? This is something you've got to figure out on your own. And sometimes you could, there are people who are really in a position where they can't figure some things out, and they need someone else to help them figure out what their purpose is. Sometimes you need to read books, see other videos on YouTube, talk to different people in order to figure out what's inside of you that needs to come out, what that purpose is. And so the second thing that makes you unique is that when an egg becomes fertilized, there are between 20 to 100 million sperm cells that go towards the sperm, towards the egg, to fertilize it, and one is able to penetrate and help to fertilize that egg, which becomes you. And I don't even know this. I didn't think about that step. I didn't check it out. But between the number of eggs that become fertilized to people who are born healthy human beings, that's even a specific number right there, right? Because not every fertilized egg actually goes all the way through, becomes a human being. So when you make it through and you live to become a human being, and you grow up to become a teenager and an adult to figure out what you want to do in life now, you have to understand how unique and special you are. You're very unique and special. You were created with a purpose. Now, one thing that bugs me is I believe there's two major factors why certain people don't realize their full potential or any potential at all. There's internal and external forces. Internally, people don't realize their worth. And it may be due to various factors: the environment you grew up in, the family members that came before you, your self-esteem, right? Everyone is a combination of nature and nurture. Nature being your DNA, nurture being how you were raised and your environment you went through makes you uniquely you, right? And so unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize who they are in that process. Now that's the internal, right? You're fighting the negative thoughts that are inside of you. The external side of that is what people say towards you or about you. That's the other thing that tends to affect people a lot. And I believe, I'm going to come back to that in a second, but I believe a lot of people will be a lot further in life if they knew how to overcome the internal voice and the external voice. Now, the external voice is when people tend to, it's sad that people are like that. It's sad that when someone has a dream, people tend to crush it. People will say, man, you need to be realistic. That's never going to happen. Or people laugh at someone's dreams, or at when someone fails to, has failure on the way to their dreams. Instead of saying, man, keep going, you got this, or you can do this, people are more likely to have a negative say than to say, you know what, it's okay. You failed, get right back up, keep going. You messed up, it's all right. You lost money, no problem, keep going. And it's unfortunate that it's like that. And so when you can get to when you get to the point where you realize your purpose, when you realize you were created for a reason, a specific reason, when you realize that there are special talents and gifts inside of you that someone needs out there, right? When you start to mute the negative voice, right, of the nurture you went through, right? People who picked on you, bullied you, told you can't. When you start to mute that negative voice, and sometimes a lot of motivational speakers call it stinking thinking. The stinking thinking, the negative garbage thoughts in your mind that tries to suppress you. When you mute that and you take actions to mute those steps, right? Because the only way to really mute those voices, the negative voices in your mind, is to take actions. So when you start to mute that, put that on the back burner and diminish that voice. And when you start to, be around more positive people, but guess what? You never get to a point where people around you are 100% positive. You might have a circle that you trust that are uplifting, your network, your core group of people, but you're gonna run into comments. You're gonna run into negativity in this world. It's unavoidable, right? When you get to the point where you can mute that voice as well, the external negative voices, and you focus solely on your goal, you focus on your purpose, you focus on where you're supposed to go, that's when the magic happens, really. And when I say magic, I don't mean the earthly type of magic. I mean what God has purpose for you to do. The things that are supposed to be manifested inside of you to benefit the world, right? On whatever it is, whether you're the best cook at pies, chicken, vegan food, or whether no one can clean like you, or whether no one can sell cars like you, or no one could lead people to a better life like you, or no one could lead people into ministry and towards God like you, or no one can build homes like you, or clean or lay asphalt, whatever it is. There is something specific that only you can do. And once you discover that purpose, once you put everything in line, then you can start to build on that foundation, because now you're solid and you're whole. So this morning, I'm just going to tell you that you matter. You have a purpose. Don't let the bullies, the people that are hurt, the people who have given up on themselves and want to take down as many people with them as possible, so they spew out hate, negativity, stinking thinking, and things like that. Don't let them win. You've come too far to let them defeat you. Use that negative energy as fuel to keep going, because you don't want to get to the point where you get towards the end of your life and you realize that what they said about you became true. and you let them win. Just get up, and this year, all you have to do is take one step at a time. Now, it has to be the correct steps, right? Because if you take the wrong steps, you got to go around a circle, right? But the first thing is to take one step forward. You're not looking back, not looking to the side, right? You have to take one step at a time forward. And even if it's the smallest step, right? Even if people will laugh at you because you've been working on this for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, as long as you understand it's never too late, just take one step. If you take the one step forward, right? Calculate right step, not steps to just go around, but it's even the slightest step forward, and you take another step, and you take another step. Now, as you take these steps, you're doing research, you're doing things to heal, you're doing things to learn, right? You're doing things that will prepare you forward. If you take those one, even if it's a baby steps, eventually you start to see things come your way that you never saw before. And eventually, a year from now, I guarantee you that you'll be shocked as to how far you've gone. Now, yes, some days you're going to take 2 steps and things are going to drag you back 4 or 5 steps. You'll take another 2 steps and fall down. You'll take 3 steps and not have the energy to push forward. Get ready for that. Understand, just take the steps and focus on taking the steps. Once you take the steps, don't worry about who's laughing at you, talking bad about you, looking down on you, doesn't give you respect, love, whatever. No, just focus on you. And once you do that, and if you consistently learn to just get back up, improve yourself on every aspect of your life, and take those steps forward, you'll be shocked how far you get. All right? So this year, those are the steps I'm going to be implementing, and I'm going to be looking to work with some people as well who feel like they're stuck or they're not progressing in life, they don't know what to do. I'm going to be giving some people some one-on-one advice, taking some time. I have to figure how I'm going to do this yet. But I'm going to be taking time out to speak to some people. And some of you out here that may be watching this, if you want to be some of the first ones in, right? I'm just doing this out of my own time. I'm not charging you anything for now. Just talking to people, seeing who I can help. Because there's some people I'm not professionally trained to help, right? But there's some things that I've been able to do throughout my whole life, even though I didn't have certain things, where I was able to help some people. And I believe it was God-given. It's a God-given ability to do. I'm going to do that to help others as I'm building my path as well, right? Because as I take these steps myself, I'm able to tell others, well, here, step there, don't step there, watch out for that, and do this. All right? So, man, let's make 2020 the best year that we can. Let's grow together. Let's grow this community. Again, this is Max from the Lifestyle Coaching channel. And please share this video, hit the like button below, subscribe, and comment whether you figure out what your purpose is, or even if you need help to figure out what your purpose. Comment that below. Let's talk, and let's get after it in 2020. Let's take everything to another level in 2020. Now, that may not be, reaching $100 million or whatever else is your goal to success, but it could be if you reach 5%. If you're 5% along further, 2% along further, 10% along further, you are better at that point a year from today than you were before. And that's all. That's what's important. All right. So I'm just going to leave you with that one word, be you. All right. So until the next time we speak, live your best life.